Hello guys, today I will show you how to download Dragon Age 2 the Black Emporium DLC for free on your Xbox 360, PS3 and PC. If you need to download this new DLC called the Black Emporium free on your Dragon Age 2 game, you need this website. Here's the website link: www.theblackemporium.blogspot.com. This is the other website to download this new DLC, which is this website. Once you visit this site, you can find some instruction how to download this the Black Emporium DLC. You are going to download Dragon Age 2 the Black Emporium DLC code generator for free. Hit the download button to download this code generator, but before I'll show the virus scan result. You can also check this code generator virus scan result by clicking this link. I'll show it. Hit the virus.tool.com. File is scanned with different 41 antivirus programs and 0 result. No virus has been found. File is clean. Okay, back to the website. Once you download this code generator, you can save it in your desktop and open it. I already downloaded this file. I have it in my desktop and open it. Okay, first thing is for Xbox 360 users to generate a Dragon Age 2 the Black Emporium Xbox 360 Marketplace redeem download code. Press the generate button when you have a code. Redeem it in the Xbox 360 Marketplace. Press this generate button. This will find the valid redeem key for you for Dragon Age 2 the Black Emporium DLC. Here's the redeem key. You can use this key to download the Black Emporium DLC for free on your Dragon Age 2 game in your Xbox 360. If you're using PS3, you can visit this tab to generate your Dragon Age 2 the Black Emporium PlayStation Store promotion code. Press the generate button. When you have your code, redeem it in the PlayStation Store. Press this generate button. This will find the valid redeem key, the same like Xbox 360. Once you receive your PS3 key, you can visit your PlayStation Store and redeem the key to download the Black Emporium DLC for free on your Dragon Age 2 game. In this case, I'm not press this donate button. I don't have PS3. I will leave it for you. You can download this tool, and if you're using PS3, you can press this generate button and it will generate PS3 key for you. This is for PC users. This is the installer for Dragon Age 2 the Black Emporium DLC. Before the install the DLC, you already installed the Dragon Age 2 game in your PC. If you already installed this game, you can press this install button. This will install this new DLC, the Black Emporium DLC. But it will take time to finish the install. In this video, I haven't so lot of time. Then I stop it. You can continue this install. When complete install, you will have to restart your PC. Okay, once again, this tool can download this from website. Here's the website link: www.theblackemporium.blogspot.com, which is this website. If you need more information about this, you can send me PM or reply my video. I will help you. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Okay, thank you guys.